Egypt ex-President Morsy defiant at jailbreak trial. Egypt's former Islamist President Mohamed Morsy has struck a defiant tone at the beginning of his trial over his escape from prison in 2011. Mr. Morsy started shouting, "I am the President of the Republic, how can I be kept in a dump for weeks?" Egypt's first freely elected president was deposed by the military in July 2013 after mass protests against his rule. He is now facing 4 separate criminal trials on various charges. Mr. Morsy and other defendants in the case are appearing in a sound-proofed glass box during the trial. He will only be permitted to address the court after raising his hand. At one point, journalists were given the chance to hear what was going on in the glass cage, from the courtroom. The defendants started shouting, "Down with military rule," and the judge cut off the sound. Later, Mr. Morsy began shouting that he was still the legitimate president and demanded, "Who are you? Who are you?" Today is the 3rd anniversary of the jailbreak at the center of the case, during which police officers were killed. Supporters of Egypt's Army Chief Field Marshal Abdel Fattah al-Sisi portrait, who is to run for the presidency in the upcoming elections, hold military boots on their heads in a sign of support for military rule. Mr. Morsy has previously said local residents freed the inmates. Also on Tuesday, the Interior Ministry said that a ministry official, named in local media as Gen Mohamed Saeed, was shot dead on his way to work. The killing comes amid a string of militant attacks on security services in recent days, and hours after Egypt's top military body gave its backing for Army Chief Field Marshal Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to run for president. No supporters. Mr. Morsy was taken to the court in Cairo by helicopter from a prison in Alexandria, MENA news agency reports. Tight security was in evidence around the police academy in Cairo hosting the trial, with armored vehicles, police officers and military helicopters all visible, from outside the building. Supporters of Field Marshal Sisi have gathered outside the building, but no pro-Morsy supporters have appeared. Mr. Morsy's Muslim Brotherhood has been declared a terrorist organization and authorities have punished any public showing of support for it. Clashes between Brotherhood supporters and security forces were reported in the Ramses area of central Cairo. Another 130 people are also facing charges in the prison break trial, but many of the defendants are currently on the run. Mr. Morsy stands accused of organizing a mass breakout from the Wadi al-Natrun prison during the 2011 uprising that toppled President Hosni Mubarak, as well as the murder of prison officers. When he first appeared in court in November in a separate trial, Mr. Morsy chanted slogans against the current government and the court. He also refused to recognize the court's legitimacy or put on the required prison uniform. In that trial, he and 14 other figures from the Muslim Brotherhood face charges of inciting the killing of protesters in clashes outside the presidential palace in December 2012, while Mr. Morsy was in office. On January 19, it was reported that he and 24 others would also go on trial for insulting the judiciary. While in office, he had allegedly named a judge in a public speech and accused him of overseeing fraud in previous elections. The 4th trial will be on charges of conspiring with foreign organizations, the Palestinian movement Hamas and Lebanese Hezbollah, to commit terrorist acts. There has been a wide-ranging crackdown on the Brotherhood and anyone seen as critical of the military in recent months, with the bloodiest episode coming with the clearing of 2 Brotherhood protest camps in August which left hundreds dead. Mr. Morsy's supporters say he and other senior Brotherhood leaders are the victims of politically motivated prosecutions.